Today's video, I thought I would do something a little bit different, and I don't know if you, so I've kind of just done a lot of Star Wars things and stuff like that, but I thought I'd do something different in the way that, I'm going to do a review of a book I just read. I often read books and don't finish them. This is the first book that I've actually finished in quite some time, and it is Sasuke's story. Now, I'm a big fan of Sasuke in general and Naruto in general for sure. So I've never done a video about either of these things before, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to do it. And I mean, I've been a fan forever since I was 9 years old, and I bought one of these Shonen Jumps from like forever ago. So I'm pretty stoked about this. It was a pretty good book. Not gonna lie, I've seen it in the anime before though, played out, and it's way different. Like Sasuke spends a significant more amount of time in the bamboo village. He also Chino from the anime also seems really different than in the book. And in the book, Sasuke kind of takes care of business, and he actually fights, I think, a few more people, but the fights lay out differently. Like, he does most of his fights in the bamboo. There's no snow, there's no tornadoes. He doesn't use perfect Susanoo. He doesn't use, I don't think he uses his Rinnegan either way. But of course, why would he use his Rinnegan? He's just way overpowered now. Yeah, it's a good read though. I mean, it's definitely a good read. Um, like the pacing's pretty good, but at the same time, like it's a very broken Sasuke, in a good way, to the point where he's just kind of going on his own and venturing out and seeing what the world has to offer. Because all of this ends during the fourth war, where he tried to kill the five Kage and everything. So it's definitely a good story. It came out in 2016, and they adapted it in 2017 of March, and it's both of them are pretty good. But seeing team, both of them are pretty good. But I definitely think that the book actually describes things a little bit better. But anime is good too. I would definitely give it a try. One thing I will say is that there's just so many highlights. I mean, Team Taka showing up, Orochimaru briefly. We don't need him for very long. The Chio stuff, Hidan. Now in the book they mention Hidan, and that's just perfect. I think it's a great way because he came from the Steam Village, so it makes sense. But in the anime they don't even mention him, which is like, okay, it's Kishimoto's favorite villain, so you should honestly you should mention Hidan. He actually discovers this blood thing. So specifically, like the story goes, that Chino is this woman that has a new ability called the Ketsuryu gun, and her partner, I can't remember his name. They show up in the bamboo village after this guy kind of blows himself up, and Sasuke basically sends. He already got a message from Sai saying all this stuff, and then they go back, and it goes back to the village, and Naruto and Shikamaru and Choji all try to save some of the people there in the village from blowing up. And Ino actually has this relation, knows that one of the guys that tries to blow himself up, so that's way different in the book than in the anime. And so then they go back to the bamboo village, and he fights this rubber guy that's like terrible at fighting. Like, he actually thinks he's gonna fight against Sasuke, and they call it bright lightning. I think they mentioned that in the anime, but they kind of changed the name of the lightning thing. And also, the book starts off, I forgot to mention this earlier, the book starts off in a completely different area. It starts off in the mist, on a boat, from the mist to the lightning, so that's totally different. I mean, anime didn't even mention any of that at all. And then Sasuke goes from the bamboo, and he kind of finds Orochimaru, and they didn't do it very good in the book. Like, he just shows up at Orochimaru's lair, but in the book he kind of does more exploring, and he runs into Captain Yamato, classic character, and then he basically says, well, you're part of Team 7, so you understand you understand that what teamwork's about. And so him, Chino, and the other guy, I can't remember, all show up to the hideout, and Orochimaru and all of them, he basically agrees to going to this kind of Cantu Bite as place that's like all for like rich people, rich, and they all bet on these people to fight for them. And so then Sasuke ends up saying, "This place is disgusting." It kind of goes on a little bit of a rant about how gross it is, and it's just, yeah, it is, and it's just kind of similar to how he was in episode 113 when he just basically laid down the law with Orochimaru. It's pretty cool, and then he ends up freeing like all the people there, from having to fight and be slaves anymore to the thing, and so I think that's pretty cool. But in the anime, actually, the Raikage shows up, and this fight actually happens at the end of the story. And in this book, it happens in the middle, so it's really different in that regard. Um, but yeah, I really think it's pretty well done. It's classic Kishimoto. You know, Sasuke mentions a lot of different things. They actually in the book they make it sound like you've never seen Naruto before, which is pretty interesting, and all that. So. Definitely liked it. I'd say an 80 out of 100. And yeah, so I'm going to be doing maybe some book reviews in the future. I'm actually pretty far in this Kakashi one, so maybe when I finish it, I'm more than halfway, so it won't be that long. But yeah, definitely check it out. If definitely check both of them out if you can.